Did you know that students from intact married families are more likely to receive better grades, with 60% of children from married families receiving mostly A grades compared to 47% from non-intact families? Are you aware that family social support accounts for approximately 4.08% to 7.18% of the variance in students' general performance scores, with higher support leading to more stable academic performance? Did you also know that couples who prioritize emotional intimacy and communications have a 70% higher success rate in their relationships? As Aristotle once said, love is composed of a single soul, inhabiting two bodies. But have you ever stopped to think about what love really means to you? We all crave to hear those three magical words, I love you. But do we truly understand the language of love? From the innocence of a child's affection to the passion of young love and the warmth of long-term companionship. Love is a universal language that transcends age. But which form of love should we prioritize in our lives, in our relationships, to build a stronger families? Let's explore the complexity of love together and uncover the secrets to nurturing a more loving and stable lives. Before we continue, please do us a favor by hitting the like button, subscribe, and share. Now, what is love? Can you just pause to ask yourself, what do you really understand love as love? When do you feel you are loved by someone? When do you really say, I love this person? Just a moment. Think about it. Reflect on it. To understand, to see if you have been practicing this in your life. When you are good to others, you are better to yourself. At its most basic, love can be defined as a deep emotional state involving affection, care, closeness, and connection. Psychologically, it manifests as an enduring relational bond between individuals, characterized by emotional intimacy, cognitive commitment, and behavioral investment. But even this definition fails to capture its fullness. Love cannot be defined accurately. It can only be lived, it can only be practiced, it can only be felt, it can only be experienced. Love can be a feeling, a decision, a practice, a need, a virtue, or an experience. It can arise suddenly or grow over time. It can be unselfish or possessive, uplifting or tormenting. It can endure across decades or flicker out in moments. The psychological study of love must therefore account for its breadth, how it varies by type and context, and its depth, how it operates intimately, internally, and relationally. affecting the way individuals relate to themselves and to others. Even the way you relate to yourself is affected by love. Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love affects us, and it offers us one of the most well framework that you can use to define love. For us to understand, what did this man say? He posits that love consists of three components: intimacy, and that is emotional closeness; passion, which is physical and romantic attraction; and then commitment. Not just intimacy and passion, but supported with commitment. And commitment is the decision to maintain the relationship. Without the commitment, love cannot be accomplished. These elements combine in various forms to form different kinds of love, ranging from infatuation to consummate love. Each configuration represents not just a type of love, but a form of relationship, defined by the emotional and behavioral dynamics between people. Let me take you to forms of love, so that from there we tell you why many marriages are cracking these days. You may have noticed that the rate at which divorce occurs in our society today is outrageous. One begins to wonder what is actually happening. That was what engineered my writing a book called The Psychology of Love, Understanding the Relationships. My story went back when I was in my undergraduate days. I begin to see couples, they marry today, even when the families are kicking against their marriage. They swore that if they do not marry, they will commit suicide, they will die, they will never marry again in their life. But after few days, the same person who said, if I do not marry this person, I would die, would say, for me to continue in this marriage is a suicide mission. What happens? How did the love develop? How did it sublime? How did it evaporate? Give us a concern to see if we can actually see what we can do. Today, we are brought to the types of love for you so that you understand, after which we tell you which kind of love, which form of love will likely, statistically, lead to stable families, stable relationship, and stable students or children's performance in the classroom. There are many forms of love, but for the sake of this lecture, I do not preach. Rather, I do teaching because I am a teacher. We try to understand, we try to believe, we try to practice. So what we do is to explain that you may know the concepts, you can construct your own knowledge, then practice it and live it. As we say, the types of love we have, the forms of love we have, we start with romantic love. This involves emotional and physical intimacy between partners. It often begins with infatuation and grows into long-term companionship marked by shared goals, shared trust, and mutual care. It's a symbiotic relationship. Romantic love typically defines partner-to-partner love. It is characterized by passion, intimacy, desire, and commitment. Without commitment, there won't be romantic love. This is usually expressed in terms of dating, in terms of affection, and the shared features. They share future things, they share it together. Familial love is also known as storage love. Family, from family, we get familial love. It encompasses the bond within families, such as parent to child, attachment, siblings, brothers and sisters, loyalty and attachment, intergenerational support, whereby the uncles, the parents, our grandparents support us. When you take your child to your grandparents, immediately they bond together. That is family love. These family relationships are often marked by unconditional care and long-term relationship, long-term responsibilities. So just know that familial love is a bond among the family members. So this is dangerous when it comes to most of us that are changing our names, that our names are not reflecting our nuclear and extended families. That has implication in our brains, in the relationship we have today. Familial love is characterized by loyalty, protection, and generational ties. Any child who refuses to pay loyalty to the parents, to the brothers and sisters, especially elder ones, and their uncles, their aunts, will have no respect for anyone in the society, including the teachers. Remember, we are tracing this from the classroom. What could we do to improve the performance of our students? When the mind of the student, the child is back home, learning hardly takes place. So we are now calling on every individual, all the stakeholders, starting from parents, to join hand as we move down to different types of love so that we understand where we can share love and we know the implication of whatever we are doing. Family love is usually expressed in terms of parental care and family traditions, that these are the things we do. These are the things we avoid in our family. Even though the child or the parent or the father or the mother or the brother or the sister would wish to do otherwise, but because of the love of the family, the person will not do it. It is usually parent, child, or siblings, or even among the kinsmen. The next love is Platonic love, and this is deep, non-romantic affection. It encompasses the love among friends. Platonic love is the foundation of close friendship. It is usually built on trust, respect, and emotional closeness. This is where you can see love bruising in our office places, in the classroom, in the church, and every other place where we meet. These relationships often offer companionship without sex, without sexual or romantic involvement, emphasizing only on emotional safety and support, just on support, just giving care. It could be in the office work, It could be in the classroom. It could be in the church. It could be anywhere. The person offers you support, offers you care without expecting reward in terms of sex or any other thing. It could be the same gender. It could be different gender. We also have self-love. This self-love reflects an intrapersonal relationship with the self. It is characterized by acceptance, you accepting yourself, self-care, and a sense of self-worth. You should understand, be aware of what you want, your value to yourself, and then to others. When you are good to others, you are better to yourself. And when you are better to yourself, you are good to others. Self-love is usually characterized by acceptance. Don't forget. Self-care and sense of worth. It is a critical prerequisite for forming healthy interpersonal connections. When you are noisy internally, you will be hearing noise around you. You will not know that the noise, the broken relationship you have with people is not from them, but coming from the inner person or inner self. Self-love simply means self-appreciation, appreciating yourself, having confidence, and setting boundaries to take care of yourself. It's an affirmation, it's an introspection of yourself, it's self to self-love, nothing more than that. Now, we go over to the spiritual love. There are also other love that we're not going to touch about, but we're bringing spiritual love because of the next statistics we are going to, which will show you how families are stabilized and how relationships are stabilized. Spiritual love is the love for divine connection. Spiritual love extends to transpersonal relationships, a sense of connectedness to the divine, to the nature, and to the humanity. It is often expressed through compassion, service, transcendence of the ego. It goes beyond your ego. It subdues your ego. Self-love is usually characterized by devotion, transcendence, and compassion. That is spiritual love, spiritual love. The common expression of spiritual love is worship, meditation, and services. The services you offer to humanity without expecting any reward is self-love. The meditation you sit down to connect to the divine creator of whoever you believe in is your spiritual love. The worship, the praise, the thanksgiving you give to the Almighty Father is a relationship, is a self relationship to the universe. It's a universal acceptance and the spiritual order. Now, the question is, we also have cultural love. Cultural love is that relationship that is built based on the culture, especially from which you grew or you have heard about or you have experienced. Take, for instance, you see some people where they are far from their country or their locality or region. They still say, no, I want to go and marry from my culture. I want to go and marry from my area. Even if you ask the person, why do you want to go and marry? The person does not know. It is the love you have for your culture. You wish you get someone who understands your culture, who understands your feeling. That is cultural love. Now, the question is there a best form of love for healthy relationship? The answer is no, and the answer is yes. Because each of these love has its own role to play in your life, to play in our life. But the truth remains that the percentage of each of them contributes to the stability of our relationship and our love and the performance of our students, of our children in the school. Why all forms of love serve different functions? Some evidence points to self-love and family love as the most enduring sources of emotional stability. The love you have for yourself and the family love, the love that a child receives in the family, has a lot to do with the other forms of love. They are the foundational love upon which other loves can build on. While romantic love is linked with high emotional intensity, both positive and negative, Platonic love is essential for social well-being. For you to have social well-being, you need Platonic love. Not every person you see, you begin to ask, what will I gain from this person? How will I gain from this person? And this will lead you to sexual exploitation in both sides, whether male or female. But Platonic love stabilizes your social relationship. The spiritual love adds existential meaning to all relationships. In every relationship, it will add meaning to it. You now see the reason why you need that relationship. Not for any material gain, not for any physical gain, not for any emotional gain, because your emotion may be damaged, but for internal reward here and even after here on earth. Now, let me give you the statistics of stable relationships or the contributions of each of the relationship or each of the type of love to our relationship. Now, this is the point of the point. The puntum puntum. From statistical information, from research, it has been proven that romantic relationship leads to 20 to 25% lasting in a relationship. What do I mean? 20 to 25% of couples report lasting relationship, lasting passion, or lasting passionate love. What is the meaning of this? It means that every marriage built on romantic love has 20 to 25% chances of survival. Did you understand that? Do I need to repeat it? Every marriage that is built based on romantic attraction has only 20 to 25% chances of lasting. Why? This romantic relationship, it has a romantic bond. It has a very strong romantic bond. It enhances happiness, but it can be emotionally volatile. This is why most families or most relationships that are built on erotic, on romantic relationship will always be volatile, because they expect that that sexual attraction they have is what others have around that woman or that man. That's why many of such families are very, very volatile. I am not the one saying it, but this is a statistical analysis. This is the research output. You may believe it, you may not believe it, but this is proven and accepted. Family love, the love you have for your children, the love you have for your parents, you have for your brothers and sisters, it contributes 54% to the stability of your family. And this 54% of divorced women would not remarry because of the love they have for their children. Did you get that? Even when there is a divorce, 54% will not remarry because of their children, whether man or woman. They do not want to have problem with their children. So not that they wouldn't wish to marry, but because of the love, because of the compassion, because of the services, because of the experience they want to cultivate to their children, they would not remarry. That is called family love. It's a storage love. You store it for your children. It indicates enduring fulfillment in parental and sibling relationship. When your children know that you didn't remarry because of them, that gives a stable relationship. This is what the statistics are showing. So try much as possible to cultivate love for your children. This is why many people shift love from the romantic love they have with their husband, with their wife, to their children. Sometimes you begin to wonder, is my husband or wife, does he or she still love me? Like he or she is now loving the children more than I. The love shifts that way. It leads to stability of the family, for those who understand. Platonic love, just I love you to a friend, it gives 35% stability in a relationship. When you have a platonic love to the people around you, remember, this platonic love is experienced in activities you do together. And your support, your care, and in those activities gives 35% stability. It suggests deep, affirming friendship, and these are often undervalued in most cases. Platonic relationship is often undervalued. Some people will begin to even wonder, what is he trying to achieve? What is she trying to achieve? Especially when the man or the woman has a romantic love and the other person does not have it, only that is giving platonic love. It is usually misunderstood. But whereby two of them understand that this is a platonic love, it leads to 35% stability. Self-love is the foundation. It correlates with higher self-esteem and relationship satisfaction. The way you love yourself determines how you will be satisfied with all other forms of love. If you are not internally satisfied, There is no amount of love that people can give you that will satisfy you. Oh yes, by John Bull. So healthy self-love underpins all other relationships. So today, begin to love yourself. When you love yourself, you now appreciate other love that people give to you, or you now appreciate how to give others love. Latin proverb says, "Nemo dat quod non habet." No one gives out what one does not have. If a teacher does not have self-love, then how will he love your children to teach them? How will he be comfortable in the classroom? How will he be comfortable even in the school? How will he even be comfortable with your relationship as a husband? Most families are broken today because of this lack of self-love. The people don't even value themselves. They do everything they like. In the name of freedom, I wish to do whatever I like, and nobody should stop me. But when you ask yourself, what do you really want? What kind of love am I trying to exhibit? Because love is directly proportional to your happiness. And everything we do on earth is all about happiness. Then the last one we treat here is spiritual love. Loving without expecting reward from the person you are loving. Even when the person is falling below standard. You have a standard. You do not treat that person based on the person's standard. You treat the person based not even on your own standard, but based on that spiritual love. You will be surprised that this is the love that gives the highest stability in our families. Statistics, not me, you can't verify it. Statistics has shown that 94% of those who have spiritual love believe in transcendent love. They don't believe in what their children will give reward to them. They don't believe in what their husband will reward to them. They do not believe even in their self-love. They believe in the love of the Almighty. And those who really ask questions, in any relationship they have, before they take decision, they ask, especially Christians, asking yourself, what does God really want me to do in this relationship? You could remember one singer that died last time in the husband's house. People begin to wonder, what is this woman doing? You know, this love is a virtue. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Only those who have it can practice it. The lady had the spiritual love and practiced it to fullness. And that led to 94% of her stable family before she died. It doesn't matter. So for those who enter into a relationship based on the spiritual love, not just loving pastor, not just loving reverend, no, loving human beings, loving your children, not just because of the storage love, the family love, but because of the love by the Almighty God. This spiritual love offers spiritual frameworks. It offers framework that can support empathy, you believing in others, experiencing, seeing every situation as if you were in that person's shoe, and relational resilience. Even when there's a damage, there's a crack in that relationship, you quickly bounce back, because when you remember that God Almighty created us, and as Adam and Eve, we disobeyed in the Garden of Eden. But God did not just leave us. He bounced back even by offering his own son to come down and save us, even when we don't want it. So when we believe that the love we give to people, they do not even want it, but because we have a standard, just like God has his own standard, it's not a standard of the world. You now treat every human being, show every love in every circumstances by the spiritual love. You will have a stable relationship and you have a stable family, and that radiates to your children and metamorphoses in the children's performance in the school. We are not saying that every child that comes from a stable family or family with a stable relationship performs better than every other person. But the person performs up to 65% higher than he or she would have performed if he were in a good family. So the child, you feel that even though he's coming from a cracked, is a product of a cracked relationship or cracked family, is performing at that level. If the child is given a stable love, family love, and stable relationship, is going to outperform his or her performance by 64%. Thank you. As we come to you with the triangular love and its explanation to see the effect on our children next time we meet. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.